Today we are cooking out of Hailee Catalano's cookbook called By Heart. She's one of my favorite TikTokers. She's married to a guy called Chuck. Well, I don't know if they're married. Her partner is Chuck, and they both cook. They make the most delicious meals on TikTok. I copy their recipes all the time. This is By Heart by Hailee Catalano. She's one of my favorite TikTok cooks, chefs recipes. So she has this recipe. It's a Midwestern fish fry. For my Brits, it's very similar, or in fact is the exact same thing as fish and chips, except there's no chips in this recipe. Surprisingly, was proving kind of hard to find. There's ingredients in this, like for example, you need cornichons. And this was surprisingly hard to find because like we have pickles and we have gherkins, but this was not easy to find, but I did find it. I found it at Hartley's eventually. Got some cornichons. For our ingredients for this Midwestern fry, there's 3 parts to this. There is the tartar sauce, there is the slaw, and then there's actually the fish. So for the tartar sauce, you need fresh dill, fresh parsley, about 1 garlic clove, a lemon, its juice, and you want to zest it as well. You need cornichons, which are just like little baby pickles. You need capers. We need whole grain mustard, so that's the tartar sauce. The ingredients for the slaw are cabbage, red onion, some honey, red wine vinegar, radishes, and then caraway seeds. I don't have caraway seeds, so I'm going to use caraway powder. And then for the fish, we need vegetable oil that we will fry. I'm using lager type beer, and I wanted to use a Nigerian brand, so this is Bature Brewery's Lagos Lager. And then I have flour, we need some seasonings. The recipe and most fish fry recipes usually call for cod. However, we live in Lagos and finding cod is really, really expensive. I was able to find fresh cod, but it was like 30K for a little fillet. And I just felt like that was too expensive and unnecessary. Technically, you're supposed to be able to use any kind of white fish. So I have croaker and then I have white fish. If you go to supermarkets in Lagos, you will find frozen fish and it's just called white fish. So this is that white fish. And then I also have croaker fish. I'm using these 2 because these are the 2 most popular fishes in Lagos. It's easy to find, easy to come across. And if you recreate this recipe, I'd want you to be able to use fish that you can find very easily within our country. If you can afford cod, buy cod. But I'm going to use white fish and then croaker fish as well. So let's start cooking. Okay, the very first thing she makes is the sauce. So I'm going to make the sauce as well. She says a 1/4 cup of dill. And I have my dill here. I have a 1/4 cup. I like dill, so I think I'm going to actually kind of pack it a bit more. This is like a 1/4 cup of dill. Okay, this is a rough chop of parsley. You can include the stems. I don't mind parsley stems, so up to you. There we go. There we go. It's a bit more than a 1/4 cup, but everybody will be okay. Okay, 1 egg. 1 clove. 1 garlic clove. Right, this is a bulb. Okay, a clove is just 1. She just said it was meant to be smashed. It doesn't need to be chopped or anything. So smashed garlic. I feel like I'm embarrassing myself because if you ask me the last time I zested anything. Oh, okay. Wow, it's making it so much harder than I needed it to be. There we go. This feels like it's enough. Okay, to squeeze it, I don't have a squeezer, which is surprising because I have everything else, but we'll use this as my squeezer. Put it between 2 tongs and squeeze. The next step is while you're blending it, you want to slowly stream in your vegetable oil or canola oil if you have, but I have vegetable oil. so that it can really create a smooth emulsion. But one of the best ways to do that is to just squeeze. Okay, all right, I'm making a mess. Let's stop. 1 tablespoon of whole grain mustard, finely chopped capers, and then it says 3 tablespoons of finely chopped cornichons. Oh my God. Oh. Oh. I'm gonna have to ask him, man. I've never had this before, but it's okay. Okay, I think this is probably fine in terms of like, oh, everything needs a rough chop. Are you okay? So give everything a good mix. Oh, it's definitely too liquidy. That is maybe too much oil on my end, but all right, we're here. There's nothing we can do if it's too liquidy. Unless you add, I guess I could add more dill and more parsley, right? Okay, I'm gonna add a bit more dill to try and thicken it up. And I'm going to try and add a bit more parsley to also try and like thicken it up. And then I'll blend. It's nice though. It's actually quite like refreshing. Hold on, BRB. It's definitely thicker than it was before, but I don't think it's very saucy the way she had intended, which is unfortunate for me, but as long as it tastes nice, truly. Where I can, I'm always going to try and season with some Maldon salt. I think it's thick enough. I think it's fine. Okay, let's try. It's nice, it's refreshing. It's an interesting flavor. I can't lie, I might add a little chicken nor. Everything just could always do with a little nor, not too much. Okay, let's try that now. See, now the flavors are there. I guess I could have also just added salt, whatever. Okay, the sauce is all done. For the slaw, we need cabbage, purple cabbage, red onion, radishes, and then some seasoning stuff. But we're supposed to chop it real thin on the mandolin. So I'm gonna put it on 3 first. And let's hope I don't. Okay. I got this mandolin from Mega Plaza in VI. Why is it no longer mandolining? You want to be careful with this mandolin or they are sharp, like very careful. Half a red onion, also mandolined. Oh my gosh, this is, Ooh, it's close. Done. Done. So you need 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. This is a very like vinegar. I'm gonna put a little bit more. Pure natural honey. Ooh, oh my God. She then says a teaspoon of caraway seeds. As I said, I don't have caraway seeds, so I'm using caraway powder. So I'm going to use a very little amount. So just a little on top. And then salt, as I said, where I can. I'm going to try and use some Maldon salt. Toss. I can't lie, I'm not 100% convinced about this slaw. It just feels like such little things are going into it, you know? And obviously, like, the caraway seeds themselves would have made like a big difference, but this is what she says. This is what she says she does. So, I guess this is what we're gonna do. Okay, let's try some. I don't actually hate it. I actually quite like it. Okay. So in here, you want flour. I'm also going to include salt and pepper inside the dry dirt, and some Knorr, because like we just have to, all right? As Nigerians, I must. And then in this one, it is flour, baking powder, and then you pour in the beer. All right, let's get to it. Some flour. Some black pepper. A little chicken Knorr, just a little. Mix, setting this aside. Dry. So, quarter teaspoon, so 2 of these. The issue is we do not actually own a whisk. We do not have a whisk. So, I want to use this and hope for the best. Okay, and you're supposed to I feel like it should be thicker than this. Right? Don't you think it should be thicker than this? Okay, so I feel like this should be thicker, so I'm going to add more flour. And I'm just going to eyeball it. I'm eyeballing it just because I know sort of roughly how thick it should be based on not making this before, but generally what a batter is like. So the fact that I don't have a whisk is wild. Yeah, this is now roughly where I imagine it should be. Nice and thick. First, dredge the fish in flour and shake off the excess. So this is the flour. Like that. Then you take it into your batter. Switch hands. And hopefully it doesn't all go everywhere. Yeah, there we go. To look something like this at the end. Okay, nice thick fillet. Great. And you're supposed to let it swim. Hey, God. Oh gosh, it's not swimming. It's not swimming. It's sticking right to the bottom. It's not swimming. Oh my gosh, it's not swimming. Oh my gosh, how do you swim it? So how do you swim it? How do you swim it? She says you swim it to stop it from sitting. Shit. She says swim. I don't know what swimming means, babe. Oh my God. And then you were supposed to swim it. So let's try and swim it again. I think this is swimming it, so hopefully try not to get my fingers in the oil. I think that's how you swim it. All right. Still a bit anemic to me, Sha. Let's taste this. Midwestern Fish Fry, Hailee Catalano. I feel like it's pretty similar to the picture. Ooh, crunchy. So this is, oh my God, is this whitefish or tilapia? I don't know. Wow, this is delicious. Oh my God. So for sure, I think any kind of white fish will work. This is so good. This is so good. Wow. The tartar sauce, I was skeptical, but it works very, very well. With like everything, once it's all combined, it all works very, very well. I think the only thing is obviously, if you use cod, the fish itself will be firmer. Also fresh fish as opposed to frozen fish, because I use frozen fish. But I still think everything in total is a delicious meal. But obviously it could be so much more elevated if you use fresh fish instead of frozen fish. And then if you use like a firmer fish like cod instead of white fish or croaker that like they flake more and so they fall apart more. But still overall, so good. I'm surprised. I didn't think it was going to be this good. Cannot lie. Thank you so much for watching. As always, please like, share, subscribe. Tell all your friends about this channel. Please follow me on TikTok, on Instagram. My handles are the same across all platforms, Dami_8K. Please follow my business page, My Friend's House. Handle is also on the screen. And please leave comments about what we should cook next from our cookbook collection. I feel like I should probably show you what my cookbook collection is so that you know what we're cooking from. But that'll be another video for another day. But for now, thank you so much for watching and have a great day.